It's Cheyenne with Wisewood Apothecary. Thanks so much for joining me here again. I am set to do a summary video for Hawthorn to just summarize everything that we've talked about so far in terms of how to identify it, where to find it, a little bit about its uses and things like that. So it is actually bright and early on a Saturday morning, though it's not so bright, but it is not smoky here either, so that is great news. So basically what we're looking at here is the hawthorn tree, the same one that we looked at in the introduction video. And one of the best things, to me, my favorite difference is actually that the berries are ripe. So I just want to show you real quick that they almost look like black or really dark red, a little bit purpley. Those are ready and they have sweetness and they're delicious and they're totally my snack slash breakfast this morning. So yeah, basically the hawthorns here in Calgary that I've been able to find are mostly ovate leaves with a serrated edge or a serrated margin. So we'll just take a close-up look at one of those again just so that you guys can double check. So ovate is the shape of the leaf, and there's little serrations along the edge in the tooth, like their little toothed margin there. Sometimes with hawthorns they can be deeply lobed. If you don't know what that means, you should definitely look it up because it's super important. So a lot of them are deeply lobed, and that's kind of like the telltale leaf sign, but just know that there can be a lot of variation in the leaves, and that in Alberta definitely we can see a lot of like ovate serrated ones. Now, another thing that we can use to identify hawthorn is definitely the berries. So the berries are actually ripe right now, and so I'll just take a couple off so you can get a closer look. So these berries, they roughly resemble apples, and they have a little bit of a similar inside to apples. They are actually in the same family, so both apples and hawthorn are in the rose family. So they do have very similar fruit. So one of the best things that you can do is actually, when you're harvesting, every 1 in 10 berries, you just throw it. That's it. Throw it in a direction around you, and the idea is that throughout the rest of the summer and autumn, the plants will begin to decay and fall over top of it, protecting it. And then through the winter it gets lots of snow and ice and things like that, which melts into spring, which gives it water. And then it is perfectly ready to be a new tree next spring, hopefully. So it does need to go through a period of kind of drying out first. So if you look at its natural course of growth in nature, it does dry out for kind of like a whole season. So if you're trying to make them at home, that's what you gotta do. If you're a part of the Herb of the Month Club that I run, then you'll know that I have recommended how to grow these at home. If you haven't joined yet, feel free to. It's on our website. Yeah, so that's the leaves. Then we're gonna crawl under the tree and look at the bark of the tree. So here we've got quite scraggly, various shades of brown and gray bark that is very flaky. Those little flaky pieces are actually useful for helping to start a fire if you need to, so it's good for a little bit of kindling. They also have a nice hardwood that is great for burning and building with. So if you need a really good fuel, hawthorn wood is good for that. Now, I don't know if you've seen it on video yet, but I'll actually take you to a close-up of a pretty large thorn. Hawthorn is notorious for their thorns. So here we've got quite a large one. And then if we go on, and that's on the trunk of the tree, if we go onto the branches, we have a little bit smaller ones. So as you can see, there are these big giant thorns on the tree, and those thorns are actually super useful for a lot of different survival, first aid uses. So for example, if you're a blister popper, if you're someone who likes to pop blisters, you can use kind of like a sterilized needle from the hawthorn thorns, though I highly recommend kind of burning it with a flame slightly first, just to sterilize it. Just so that you're not putting anything weird like yeast, which can grow on trees like this, and well, yeast can grow on anything. Yeah, so let's pop on back out here just to get another peek at the tree before we go. So hawthorn can be a shrub to a small tree. This is about as big as this tree is going to get. So it is not a super large specimen, but actually it's a super healthy one. And hawthorns are in all over the city around Calgary and kind of all around the province. You just have to keep your eye out for them. I have occasionally found it out in the wild. You just kind of got to know where to look. So hawthorns really like sunlight, especially to fruit. They need a lot of direct sunlight, and they like kind of moist to well-drained soil. So I often find them up on hills and things like that, and definitely they sort of grow in packs as well. So here we have 2 or 3 of them that are all kind of growing together in a clump here, and I imagine it is from fruit that has fallen and sprouted new trees the following season. Anyway, so thanks so much for joining me. If you have any questions or you want to share any stories or your experiences, please feel free to comment and share and everything. I love to hear from you guys, and it definitely helps me know what to bring to you. So thanks again. Have a good one.